Really? Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Sharita, the Behavior and Literacy Strategist. Coming at you from the Morgan Unlimited Growth Institute, where you can find solutions for both your child's behavior and literacy challenges. I'm over here laughing at Jazzy. She a trip. A straight trip. I want to talk to y'all real quick. I'm going to do a quick one on something I feel very strongly about. Do not let your child say these words. Do not let your child say these words. These words I'm about to give you, these kids say these words after they hear us adults say these words. When I say adults, I mean professionals, I mean parents, right? And then they believe these words, and then they use them, which if they're at the point where they're using them, that's a huge problem. So the words that I want you to never let your child say, I don't care what their situation is. I don't care if they have been diagnosed with ADHD or on medication, whatever the case is. Never, ever, ever let your child say, I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't control myself. Okay? I have a problem. I just can't help it. You never want your child to say and get into the habit of saying, I can't help it. A lot of kids say this, okay? And they use that as an excuse. They may have, at the moment, they may have trouble focusing, or they may not be used to sitting quietly or sitting still. If they get worked up, they may start moving around a lot. A lot of times when it's time for them to do work or do something that they don't want to do, then it really gets turned up. Right now, it may appear that they just have a problem. They can't help it. But I want you to tell yourself that that's temporary and that you're going to change that. And the number one way to change that is to change their mindset, how they see themselves, okay? That's where you start. And you have that, and you have the proper structure in place. You have a good action plan, a customized action plan for their behaviors. Then those behaviors start to drop off. I've seen it over and over again. I see a great improvement with my students, with their focus and their attention in class. And also I see that in my sessions. In the beginning, when I first meet them, they are all over the place. They really are not sitting still. They are not used to having to sit still, having to focus, and not being able to receive help, having to be coached through tough words, okay, or reading or spelling things. It's all new to them. So at first they are doing what they usually do. And a lot of times too, they may be moving around a lot and doing things they shouldn't do and touching everything because they're told not to, because they want the adult. It could be a mom, it could be you, it could be the teacher, it could be the aide, right? Or me. They want us to focus on their behavior instead of focusing on making them do the work, okay? So my students do it with me in the beginning as well when they first start working with me and get to know me. And then and it's really intense. After a while, it starts to taper off, okay? So I want you guys to understand that words are powerful, and the words that our kids tell themselves can either make or break them. And if they at this point, if your child at this point believes that he cannot do better, he can't control himself, he can't help it, then two things are happening. One, he doesn't believe in himself, or he's not even thinking about doing anything better. He has a very low standard of himself, right? The other thing that happens is he has an excuse, okay? He has a go-to for whenever he doesn't want to deal with something. He can just become really unfocused and really fidgety and touching things and have to go to the bathroom and doing all kind of things. But if you take a second and look in that kid's face, and instead of reacting to what they're doing, you will see that he's doing it because he wants to draw you in. He wants you to stop doing what you're doing and focus on him and work real hard to get him to sit down. He knows exactly what he is doing, okay? So that's what we have to start to learn as moms, to understand our children's behavior. And the 3 things that I tell you about negative behavior and negative attention-seeking behavior that we must remember. Number 1 is that it always... Why do I always get these out of order? Number 1 is a form of communication, right? Number 1 is a form of communication. So kids use behavior for communication all the time. Okay, they're trying to communicate to you. They will not use these behaviors if nobody was responding to them. So they are doing it for your benefit. They are doing it so that you can see them and so that they can communicate to you, I don't want to do this, or I want you to stop doing what you're doing and focus on me, right? I'm upset right now. I'm nervous right now. They use behavior more than they use words. So number 1 is a form of communication. Number 2 is that negative behavior and negative attention-seeking behavior. And when I say that, I mean the inattentiveness as well, being unfocused, being distracted, dropping the pencil, and like all over, looking all over the place and stuff. All right. There's a purpose to that. Okay. It's not 100% uncontrollable, which we believe it is, but it's not. The purpose is, it always has a purpose. And a lot of times the purpose is to draw an adult in and to get attention on themselves. Right. Because while we are focusing on their behavior, when it's time for them to read or write or spell or complete homework, while we keep spending so much time trying to get them to focus, what are they not doing? Their work, okay? So it has a purpose. It's very functional and it works. Number 3, negative attention-seeking behavior needs an audience to survive and thrive. That's why when I first started working with students, I do pay attention to their negative behaviors. I do talk to them and redirect them in the beginning. And that's because I'm putting a structure in place. I'm laying down my expectations. This is how Miss Sharita likes me to sit when I go to her class. And this is what Miss Sharita expects from me. She expects me to be on time. She expects me to have my pencil and my notebook. She expects me to be quiet during the writing prompt. She expects me to not interrupt my peers when they are speaking in a group. She expects me to. I need them to start thinking that way. So when they first meet me, I'm saying this constantly. I'm reiterating. And at the time, they think I'm doing what everyone else is doing, just reacting to their behaviors and trying to control them. No, I'm not. I am putting them in a position where they can have a self-party, self-control, self-discipline, self-awareness, self-accountability, honey. That's what I am doing. But after I put my structure in place, I step back. And then they just receive points based on how they complete the task and how they follow directions and all the things that I have them work to receive points. All of those things. There are 5 things that they have to do every session, okay? And that is what controls their behavior, not me, because I don't have time for that, all right? And it's not allowing them to grow, all right? So in the beginning, yes, I give them the audience that they are seeking, but after a while, after I set everything up, I move out of the way. And that's what I teach the moms to do in my program, my 12 Steps to Behavior and Literacy Success tutoring and coaching program. That's what I've done for years as a mental health specialist, then a special education teacher, and even in my own home. That's what has worked best, okay? And we have to make sure our kids are having that self-party and self-regulating and having self-discipline, because we're not going to be there all the time. A lot of our kids right now are going back into the classroom, and we're not going to be there. So we want our kids to function independently, which is a main goal here at the American Unlimited Growth Institute. We don't want to have to be on top of them for them to be able to function in the classroom, okay? And we don't want the teacher to need to either. And we don't want the aide to need to be on top of them either. We want our kids to have certain standards, expectations, and have the self-party and be able to function independently. In order to do this, there's no way that they can do this. There's absolutely no way that our kids will be able to do this if they're walking around saying and thinking, I can't help it. So do not allow your child to use those words. If they use those words, interrupt them right away and redirect them and replace it with, I got this. And you got this, all right? And I got your back. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned something or found this beneficial, okay? And for more information on my 12 Steps to Behavior and Literacy Success tutoring and coaching program, you message me, send me a direct message, and I will connect with you because we are accepting new students at this point, okay? Believe in yourself, believe in your child, and always remember, y'all, that growth is unlimited. Peace.